You guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Omodele Salu, and if you're here, that means you're invested in true crime content as much as I am. So welcome, take a seat. I am going to be posting a lot of contents like this, so if this is something that you like, please like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you can get notified when I post a new video. Now that all that is out of the way, let's get right into today's case. Today's true crime case is about American serial killer, spree killer, mass murderer, rapist, child molester, arsonist, robber, thief, and burglar, Charles Carl Panzram. Charles was born on a farm in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. He was the sixth of 7 children born to East Prussian immigrant parents, John and Matilda. Charles and his 6 siblings, 5 older brothers and a younger sister, were raised on the farm on which they were born. From a very young age, they were forced to work on the family farm until the truancy laws. These laws made it illegal for parents not to send their children who were of age to school. Charles' parents were not happy that their children had to go to school because they were losing like 90, if not more, percent of their workforce. Remember, there were like 7 kids. And so, because they knew that the children could not work during the day, it was now a crime for the children to work during the day, they made sure that they worked most of the night. And these children would get like 2 hours of sleep, and they had to like get up and go to school. And so it just continued like that for the longest time. John and Matilda were also very abusive. They would punish their children from time to time, anything from chaining them to starving them. And to make matters worse, John abandoned his family when Charles was only 6 or 7 years old. Now, it feels like his entire family is going to shit. His father abandoned them. 4 of his 5 older brothers left to go find themselves. One of them died, and now it's just like him, his younger sister, and his mother. Charles started having issues with the law very early. In 1899, when he was just 8 years of age, he was charged in juvenile court with being drunk and disorderly, and in 1903, when he was just 11 years old, he was arrested and jailed for being drunk and incorrigible. Not long after this arrest, he stole some cake, apples, and a gun from his neighbor's house. And in October of that same year, his mother decided that she had had enough of his madness, and so she sent him to a reform school, Minnesota State Training School. While he was there, he was repeatedly beaten, tortured, and raped by staff members in a workshop. The children in this school referred to the workshop as the paint shop because it was painted with blood and bruises. Charles hated this school so much he wanted to burn it to the ground, and on the 7th of July 1905 he actually burnt this school down without anyone catching him. Bruv. By his early teenage years, Charles already had an alcohol dependence problem and a lengthy criminal record. At the age of 14, he was released from the Minnesota State Training School, and shortly after that, he ran away from home. He would move from place to place by hopping train cars, and it was during one of these rides that he was gang raped by a group of homeless men. He later said that this particular incident shocked him to the core, and it left him a sadder, sicker, but wiser boy. Charles continued to hop train cars while traveling from place to place and robbing innocent people on his way. He was also burning down buildings. In 1908, he was convicted of stealing and was sent to Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. His experience in this correctional facility was not a good one. Later in his life, he talked about this experience and he said, "I was a pretty rotten egg before I went there, but when I left there, all the good that may have been in me had been kicked and beaten out of me." After he was released, his crimes got even more violent. He was raping and assaulting people, and it's weird because He didn't get caught, or he never got caught for the rape and the assault, but he was always getting caught for stealing. And so in 1915, he was caught for stealing yet again and was sentenced to 7 years at the Oregon State Prison. Okay, quickly, I just want to jump in here and say something. Charles served prison sentences under both his birth name and his various alliances. So there was Jeff Davis, there was Jefferson Rhodes, there was Jefferson Baldwin, and then John O'Leary. Life at Oregon State was so hard for Charles. The prison guards did not like him at all, and so they would make his life a living hell. They would beat him, hang him from rafters, place him in solitary confinement, and there are reports that say that while he was in solitary confinement, he had nothing to eat but cockroaches. During his first year there, Charles was somehow able to help another inmate escape. Unfortunately for him, this inmate, while he was on the run, killed the warden, and that made Charles an accessory to the crime. Charles decided that he too wanted to escape, and so in 1917 he tried to escape but was caught and brought back. This did not stop him. In 1918 he tried again, and this time he was successful. In 1920, Charles broke into the home of a former president of the United States of America, President William Howard Taft, and he stole enough money to buy him a yacht. He named this yacht Akiska, and by this time he was already in New York. Here he would lure American soldiers to his yacht, where he would overpower them, rape them, kill them, and then just dump their bodies in the ocean. The Akiska eventually sank, and Charles decided that he was tired of America and started to head toward Africa. He got off in Angola, where he soon raped and killed a young boy. A few days later, he killed 6 local guides who were about to take him on a crocodile hunting expedition, and he just left their bodies there for the crocodiles to eat. About a year later, Charles grew tired of Africa and he decided that it was time for a change. Lisbon, Portugal was his next stop, but the Portugal police knew about his crimes in Africa, and this made Charles feel stuck, because he knew that it was only a matter of time before he did some horrible shit and then they arrested him. So he just decided, look, it's time for me to go back home. Back in America, Charles continued to rape and kill boys and men. But somehow he was not caught for all of that. His stealing sent him to prison once again. A very bad thief, I tell you, a very, very bad thief. In 1928, he was arrested for robbery and sent to Leavenworth, Kansas. Soon after that, he confessed to killing 2 young boys and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Charles hated prisons, especially Leavenworth. He tried to escape, but that did not work out, and when the guards caught him, they beat him until he was unconscious. A year later, he took an iron bar and beat the laundry foreman until he died. It was for this crime that Charles finally got the death penalty. The death sentence was like a dream come true for Charles. He said, "I look forward to a seat in the electric chair or dance at the end of a rope just like some folks do for their wedding night." Human rights activists tried to help him and stop his execution, but he told them off publicly and also said that he wished that he could kill all of them. While Charles was on death row, he managed to make a friend, a prison guard by the name of Henry Lesser. Henry felt sorry for Charles and gave him $1 to buy cigarettes, and soon they both became friends. Henry Lesser started to give Charles writing materials too and encouraged him to write the story of his life before he was executed. Charles Carl Panzram had only a year to write down the story of his life because on the 5th of September 1930, he was killed by hanging. Everyone was happy to see that Charles was gone, except maybe his friend Henry Lesser. Charles' final words before he was hanged was, "Hurry it up, you Hoosier bastard. I could kill a dozen men while you're screwing around." And that brings us to the end of today's case. Y'all take care of yourselves. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I'll see you for the next one.